Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real Africell 4G SIM and receive 1 gigabyte of internet data for free.
Yeah, it is important to clarify here. First and foremost, the president did not make specific speech for Dr. Ceesay. All right? It was because of the periodical press conferences that he used to grant the press to come and just interview him. During the process of that interview, some of the journalists asked him about his part of story against the allegation of or the negative comments of Dr. Ismailia Ceesay. So he was trying to clarify and also to assess the level of, as they call, an intellectuals. What was their role and what should be their role? So that's how he was trying to explain to the masses. Yeah.
Do you personally think that President Adama Barrow lacks the intellectual pedigree to lead the nation?
Really, it's quite contrary. Me, I have no doubt that President Adama Barrow is having the ability to lead this country. Because we can say charity begins at home. President Barrow, prior to becoming a president, he instituted his own entrepreneurship. He's a businessman, a successful businessman for that matter. He employed not less than 40 people. Within 10 years, the business grew up. Until now, he never paid, the minimum wage of his staff is $5,000. Some people they don't even want to take any executive position anymore. They are still working with him. So somebody who managed a business of that kind of magnitude to create an employment for unemployed youths of this country, he make life better for many people for a number of years. So I see no doubt that that person is with charisma, with a leadership quality to lead this country. So those saying that he lacked intellectual pedigree, it depends on what they mean. But I think their claims are baseless and are more of personal attack than in terms of governance. You know, I always argue governance, to govern the country, is not about the personalities. It's about the policies and the programs that you lay down how the country can go about. So you can argue with somebody based on the policies and the program that he set up for the country. If you think that these policies and programs are not feasible, are not fit enough to alleviate the poverty, or are not fit enough to take us to the next level, then you can also be innovative to bring in your own alternative. You can go and bring a policies or program that you think is more suitable for the Gambians. Then it depends on the Gambians now to judge or to take what it fit for them. But to sit down at the corner, wherever you may be, criticize baselessly, I think that's lack of merit. We should desist from such. As an intellectual, you should be example for the others. You should set example for the others to follow suit. If you think somebody is not fit enough to lead because of his programs and policies, for example, our national development plan, if you've seen there's a lapses in some areas, yes, what stopped you from correcting us? You could have come up with your own ideas or your own plan better than the other one we're having now. So that people will know you're really an intellectual, you really fit enough to correct people, much more the leaders. So that's it.
So in another word, what you're trying to say is people that have a personal issue with the president, those are the ones that are saying this?
Yeah, most of the argument based on the personalities, on the personal attacks. Because, yes, if you said somebody lack leadership quality or pedigree to lead the country, you could have give us why you said that. Okay, for example, the National Development Plan, If you see any person, it contains all the activities, all the development activities of the government. You know, being a youth sector, health sector, education, private sector, entrepreneurship, everything is there. So if you diagnose it, you check it properly, and you think that, oh, this person is really not fit enough, you could also be innovative. If you're a true intellectual, you could be an innovator. You can go down to your house, lock yourself, research, write, and bring us an alternative. You can call press conference and say, look, this person is not good for us because this and this and this are the negative part of it. Me, I have an alternative. Can you just adjust this to your plan so that we have a better Gambia for all of us? But they are not doing that. You only have to grant an interview, go and say anything that you want to say, make people to be frowning, to be agitating or to be unhappy, because of you have an agenda. Agenda within the agenda is the order of the day. People have their own agenda. Not because of they want to see Gambia move forward, no. But they are having their own agendas that they want to satisfy with. So that's it.
How do you see the government of Gambia now? Do you think that there's any changes?
Yeah, the government is moving in the right track because democracy is very difficult to rule in any democratic dispensation because it's anti-impunity, it's rule of law. Rule of law, you have to abide by all aspects of the law. Anything that you are doing, you have to be mindful for you to not offend the law. So, in doing so, the president and the system that we are enduring now is more of giving opportunity to people who voted in this government to express their wills freely and also to listen. So you can see any program that the government is doing is always based on the rule of law and based on the constitutional requirements. So I can say there's big changes the past regime and this regime. There's a big changes. You cannot give. There's no comparison, in fact. So the government is moving in the right direction and in the right track. It depends on how people, how different perception the people might think, because it's very difficult to inherit a bad economy, and now within 2 years people expect you to glorify everything at the same time. So slowly but surely we'll be there.
So do you think that this 2 years is too small for President Adama Barrow to actually do anything for the Gambia? Is that what you're trying to say?
The coalition government has a mandate to achieve. People voted in this government and they also give them the mandate that they should live to make sure they achieve it. Most of this mandate is reform agendas. We have to reform many sectors in this country, be in the judiciary, be in the legislative, be in civil service, security, you name it. And those reforms cannot be achieved without money. So we also need to think about the productive base of the economy, because those reforms, you cannot achieve it without money. You need to bring in experts. You need to bring equipment. You need to train even the human resources itself. So in doing all those training, it needs money. How are you going to get that money? You only need to rely on partners, and also you need to be based on your own productive base of the private sector contribution. So if you inherit it like a private sector, a fragile private sector environment whereby there is no productivity, so you have to set it up so that it can be productive, so that it can enhance the development programs of the government. So in doing so, you can see that there is a lot of delayance in many programs based on the financial constraints. But thank God, slowly but surely, we are seeing now things become rapidly done, because we've seen the security reform is on the high gear, constitutional reform, and also the civil service, TRRC also is in the verge of the being launched. So we can see that everything is going in the right direction.
Do you think that President Adama Barrow lacked appreciation for education?
This is a very funny, I can just say, it's very funny to how people may think. Because first and foremost, when President Barrow was on a campaign trail, he really rely vigorously on the intellectuals. He said it. He said, I have a team, very solid. They are intellectuals. They are very experienced. Political. They have a vast experience of political area and also in their academic performances. So somebody who downplay the significance of the education, you will not say that. So he said it in numerous occasions, in numerous platforms, that he relied heavily on intellectuals and also the political experiences that his team is having. So, and also when he came, this National Development Plan, he called on intellectuals. He gave them flow. He asked them to write all aspects of the governance of this country. So he gave big respect to education, big respect to intellectuals. So if few of them will come because of they have their own hidden agenda and say, hey, President, downplay the significance of the education, that's a false, that's the lack of merit. No one can even believe in that. President Barrow gave 100% credit to education and intellectual. A productive intellectual, those who are here to serve the best interests of this country, he gave them 100% support and 100% respect in all aspects. But those who will have their own agenda, they are so-called intellectual, because an intellectual you need to sacrifice for your country. Much more the bitter times when there was a dictatorship here. We all know. How many of those intellectuals now who are showcasing today, they are the brave man of the, how many of them saw up? It's because of these ignorant people who cannot read and write, who we are beaten, we are killed, who we are thrown out of this country. And they came together to vote in, to outset the dictatorship. So today, if all of us are enjoying the democracy, let us not abuse it. Let us not use our intellectual capacity to abuse that democracy, where those ignorant people, they are the backbone of that democracy. How many people sacrifice their life? How many of them are intellectuals? So, I think in a nutshell, let us be sincere to ourselves, be sincere to our country. The doors of the presidencies are widely open. So if you want to know anything, you will know. If you want to add any value, then the door is open. You can come and add any value. Country belongs to all of us. Let us all sacrifice to see the better, because we are in a crossroad. We're in a transition period. So we shouldn't have time for these baseless criticisms. We should not have time for that.
So do you feel like Gambians are abusing their rights?
Those what?
Do you feel like Gambians are abusing their rights? Because now that we are in a democracy, do you feel that people are taking advantage of that?
Yeah, democracy comes with responsibility. Democracy, it has a very short meaning. That means your constitutional right should be guaranteed to every citizenry. Your constitutional right should not be infringed. So your right, democracy came to solidify your right. That you are a sovereign citizen of this country, your constitutional rights should not be tarnished by any individual, be in a state or be in anybody else. You have right to freedom of speech, freedom of association, but those freedom also should not affect others. In exercising your constitutional right, you should also be mindful not to infringe the right of the others. Because you think that others also have their right for their images, have their right for their families, have their right for their wealth, or their positions. So if you're just fighting for your right, by infringing somebody's right, then that means that is going to be conflict of interest in this. So democracy, it comes with responsibility. Let all of us be responsible enough so that this newfound democracy can be nurtured and can be nurtured so that it can grow all, so that our children, our grandchildren can come and benefit out of it. Why? If we want to just dash on it, tarnish it, to make it that I can do anything that I want to do, then it will be very difficult tomorrow for our children to inherit this democracy. And we are not praying for that. So let us all be responsible, be law-abiding, to know our limits and our rights. Let us not overstep. Anything that we are doing, calculate. This is my right, yes. So is it not tantamount to somebody's right? No. It's not infringing somebody's right? No. Go and do it. So if state comes, they want to use impunity against you, then that means they are just violating your constitutional right. So that is all about democracy.
So what are your final thoughts to all the citizens of the Gambia?
Advising myself and my colleagues, everybody in this country, all the citizens, patriotic citizens of this country, let us embrace this government. It's the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This is not a military government. This is not a government that was been imposed on us. We vote them in. And they have a mandate. They cannot achieve it without our help. But to sit down and always to be criticizing baselessly, have agenda within agenda, it will not solve the problem. If Gambia goes forward, it goes forward for all of us. But backwardness also, we also have a repercussion out of it. So we all need to be responsible enough to jealously guide this new found democracy and the image of our country, the image of our president, and to have at least respect to that seat. The seat does not belong to His Excellency Adam Barrow alone. It belongs to the Gambians. Today, he is the one sitting there. Tomorrow, it could be somebody else. So at least that seat needs to have at least some degree of respect. Not that you can come anytime or anywhere to throw any kind of vote, somebody sitting there occupying that office. No. That means we are demoralizing ourselves. So because if you just vote in somebody and you don't show him the respect that he deserves, that means you are disrespecting yourself, not him. So that's my final take of it.
Right, thank you so much, Mr. Essa Dampha.
TAF Africa Global is pleased to launch Dalaba Housing Estate. Dalaba Housing Estate is our newest estate located on the Sukuta Jabang Road. You can buy a finished 2 or 3 bedroom house or service plots accompanied with a free fence and gate. At Dalaba Housing Estate, you get to enjoy bituminized roads, gated and fenced properties, solar street lights, water reticulation, public amenities, 1,500 fruit trees aligned in streets, and many more. Make a 40% down payment today and spread the balance conveniently for 10 years with GT Bank, EcoBank and Trust Bank. Terms and conditions apply. Wait, this is the best part. We are giving a discount on outright payments. For more information and exceptional service, please call our office line on +220 4410 Better still, call us on mobile or via WhatsApp on +220 376 2333 or +220 776 2333. You can also visit our website on www.tafafricahomes.com. TAF Africa Global. Our experience is global. Our focus is Africa.